Foreign Affairs.
Prime Minister is appointed, the President is directly elected.
Yes. Yes, but really?
Really what?
Really?
What?
As opposed to the US, where the President is both head of government and...
The U.S. yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is actually both. Completely agree on that. In France, it's a little bit trickier. It depends on the majority party. So the president can be both, but the prime minister could also be head of government if it's cohabitation. So be careful about that. Touch the house. Pick me a category. Gotta go.
Political culture for 5.
Oh, baby. List all you can. Click it. Korematsu versus the United States. I told you we were coming back. You'll have it next, Tiffany's group. Go.
After Pearl Harbor, when the US entered the Second World War against Japan,
yes,
a policy of internment of Japanese Americans was pursued.
How did this come about? Was this a law by Congress? Anybody in the group?
Was it?
5, 4.
Did it go through Congress?
3.
They imposed curfews for the Japanese Americans.
Okay, there were curfews, and then there were internment camps.
There were concentration camps. People were forcibly relocated.
Yeah, this was actually an order that was done only by the president. It was never passed by Congress.
There were no trials. You had no right to a trial.
There were no trials.
There were no charges. It was just based on whether you had Japanese heritage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The color of your skin, the way that you look. Tell me more.
They just wanted to make sure they weren't really doing anything suspicious.
Okay, I got that at this point. So tell me more. 5.
George Takei was interned.
Tell me more. Korematsu versus the United States.
Supreme Court case, they struck it down.
They struck it down. -5. Who had it next? It was Tiffany's group. Yeah.
Korematsu, the man he had an American name, which was
5, 4.
Fred.
It was Fred. This was Fred Korematsu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what was Fred Korematsu?
Sam, the wrong team.
Oh, that's the wrong team? My bad.
I should get a point for just being a good person.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1. Go ahead. What was his gripe? Because what did he try to do?
He was an American citizen, but they would not allow him to join the army.
To join the army. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He
Why?
had a medical condition.
Had a medical condition, a heart condition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then when this internment camp order came down, what were they going to do with him?
Send him back to the concentration.
They were going to send him. And what was his argument? 5, 4. Anybody in the group? 3, 2, 1. Go, Sharif.
I'd like to talk about the Korematsu, the internment of the Japanese is what I'd like to talk about. It wasn't just
Zoom in on him. Get close.
Okay.
Get close, Andy. Zoom in. 5.
It wasn't just to keep us safe. It was to protect the Japanese as well because.
That's true, but what was his argument? He tried to join the military, he had a heart condition, and then this first the curfew and then the internment argument came about. What was his argument in this case? What's that? 5, 4,
I'm at a loss.
3, 2.
I mean, he was the American citizen. Like he was ready to fight for the United States and the army, but instead they sent
If he's good enough to fight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, why should I actually have to go to the internment camps? What did the court hold? What was the ruling? Was it legal to lock these people up, as Mikey has said, without trial? 5.
It wasn't legal.
Why? 4. Wait, it was what?
It wasn't.
It wasn't legal. Okay, explain it to me. Why? Zoom in. 4.
I mean, because these people, they didn't have...
Those people!
Yes, those people. The Japanese are those people in this context.
It really scares me to be an American sometimes. -5. It was not struck down. Go, Mo. You have it if you want it.
Oh, no. I've raised the white flag already.
I've raised the white flag. See, that sounds racist too. Okay, in Korematsu versus the United States, Fred Korematsu's argument basically was, you're right, if I qualified to serve, but I'm not allowed to serve because I have a heart condition, then I should not have to go to these internment camps. The Supreme Court took a look at this case and they said, any time a classification is made based on the the color of their skin, in fact, it is immediately suspect. But in order to be, in being an American citizen, there are both rights and responsibilities. And they said it is the responsibility of the men to go fight, it's the responsibility of the women to go into the factories, and in this case they said it's the responsibility of the Japanese Americans to go into the internment camps for the safety of themselves and for the safety of the country. Did this ever get changed after this 1944 case? Anybody?
No.
Yes, it was. They ultimately gave them
They gave him money.
reparations. How much? Do you remember what it was?
Like 20,000.
It was like $20,000. It absolutely was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was in the 1980s, though. I think it was in Bush Daddy's presidency in the late 80s that they finally got this. So many of them had already died at this point. Touch the House, Faye. Tiffany's group, pick me a category. It looks like Mo's raised the white flag. And it looks like you're locked into number 3. But pick me a category anyway.
Legislatures for 2 points.
Legislatures for 2. I need somebody to draw. Good job, Faye. Yeah. Need somebody to draw. Come on, Michael. If you're not going to talk, you're going to draw. This is what I need you to draw right here. Got it?
Oh, yes.
Got it. 1 minute on the 12.
Okay, okay. Okay. I got this.
45 seconds. We're all rowing together. Nice, nice.
I listen occasionally.
Oh my God. Anybody in the group now? This is from the left. You can say. It is the Senate Pirates. I zoom in on that picture. I don't know exactly how she got that from that picture. Yeah, it is Senate Pirates. You guys have it. Explain the story of the Senate Pirates. Looks like Mikey's group's got it next.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
5, 4. What's the word? 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, Mikey's group.
Filibuster?
Filibuster.
Filibuster, as I said.
Oh, Philip, but there's another word for that. Say the word.
For
In
filibuster.
Spanish.
Filibuster.
Actually, that's really, really
But,
close.
but actually, you're wrong. It comes from Dutch. It comes from the Dutch.
I'm just going by the article.
It comes
I
from
don't
the
want to have a
Dutch.
discussion.
It comes from the
Explain
Dutch.
it, explain it,
So
explain it.
a filibuster is a procedural move that can be used to block legislation that the minority party wrong group. But the minority party disapproves of. If you filibuster a bill, you need 60 votes to override it and receive what's called cloture.
Filibuster. Now, before we get it, filibuster is designed to hold things up. How exactly does the filibuster work before we get into blocking?
Well, the traditional filibuster is a talking filibuster.
It is a talking
notably
filibuster.
used by Strom Thurmond to
Yes.
block civil rights legislation. In the
It
60s.
was. He's got the longest one in the history of the Senate.
And if you get up and you speak on the floor of the Senate, the procedural rules of the Senate state that so long as you speak, you cannot be interrupted, and therefore, if you are willing to speak incessantly, legislation cannot continue whilst you speak.
Do you have to speak about the bill?
You can speak about anything you want. You can read a cookbook, you can read the phone book, you can read whatever the hell you want.
And in fact, they've oftentimes done this. It does not have to be germane to the bill at all. Go ahead. So
There are
tell me
many
about
other notable
cloture.
examples of filibusters. Wendy Davis filibustered Senate Bill 5 in Texas over the summer. Ted Cruz didn't actually filibuster this most recently, but he thought he did.
Yeah.
Paul. The most recent Senate has filibustered more than any Senate in history.
Get back to the article a little bit. Tell me more about the article. Anybody in the group? 5.
Was it about the
4.
Was it about the nuclear option? The need for 60 votes?
Was not about the nuclear option
It
this time.
it wasn't about cloture.
Cloture was part of it, but I think we've covered cloture with the 60 votes. Anything else? 2.
They threatened to filibuster just.
Judicial nominees.
They
They
threatened.
only threatened to filibuster so the bill, some bills wouldn't pass, but they did not. They weren't actually planning to.
What happens when you threaten to filibuster oftentimes? 5.
Bill gets withdrawn.
4.
Sometimes the bill gets withdrawn if you just
Actually,
threaten to filibuster.
oftentimes the bill gets withdrawn just at the idea of the threat of a filibuster.
And
3.
one particularly notable thing about the use of the filibuster in the most recent Senate is that
2.
they threatened to filibuster judicial nominees, which hadn't been
1.
done before.
Go.
It's filibustero.
Filibustero is the word that I'm looking for on this, yes. And that literally means pirate. And they're basically arguing, how are they making this connection with filibuster and pirates and these senators and filibuster? How are they making this connection?
Well, because they will just they'll just threaten instead, and they'll just threaten to filibuster, and then like for example, the Republican Party will threaten to filibuster, and the Democratic Party will just take back their bill instead of actually pushing for it.
Yes.
So the article was saying that we should that like if they do threaten to filibuster, that we should actually have them like continue to go with it, so we actually have to force them to filibuster.
They are suggesting to actually make them have to talk. The other piece to this that's really important is it lays out that in the beginning of the country there were very, very few filibusters. And in the Senate at the time, I believe it was the 2010 session, they're basically saying that there were as many filibusters then as there were in about 100.
You didn't give me any points for it.
You said that?
I said that in the last Senate there were more filibusters than there had ever been before.
I actually do vaguely remember that, but I got to make sure I give it to the right group. So that's what they're saying. But you guys did give me the last correct answer. Pick me a category. Go. Fast.
Judiciary for 2.
Judiciary for 2. Judicial review. Yes.
Wait,
First hand we see on the terms. Not list all you can, though.
Judicial review is the process by which courts, whether it's the Supreme Court at the federal level or state courts, have a power of oversight over laws if they do not align with the Constitution.
Exactly. Click it. Judicial review, the ability of courts to strike down or declare null and void laws passed by legislature or unconstitutional acts by the executive.
And it's executives at state and federal level.
Click the house. Touch the house, I'm sorry. Pick me a category. Gotta go.
Constitution for 3.
Constitution for 3. Difference between a constitution and a statute. First hand I see.
Constitution is a governing document that sets out the political principles that will govern a nation throughout its entire life.
The highest principles.
The highest principles of a country, whereas a statute is a law, but it's not, and it may be a law that governs a series of other laws or a series of other principles.
Yes.
But it's not a founding document or a central document against
Which one
all
wins?
other laws.
Which one wins?
Constitution.
Constitution always overrides the statute. Click it. Constitution, highest law of the land, power and structure comes from this document. Statutes, laws passed in pursuance of the Constitution. Constitution should overrule a contradictory statute. 95, 100, 5, 10, 50, 20, 25, 130, 127. I guess we do have to go a little further. Pick me a category.
Come on. Let's go Constitution. We just did Constitution for 3.
Yeah, we did Constitution
for 2.
Judiciary for 2. Oh, Constitution for 2. We just did that one. Yeah. Click it again.
I can tell you again for more points.
Okay, now go. List all you can. Death of a president. You guys, you'll have it next. Go ahead.
Under the terms of the... no. Channel 4 in the UK did a documentary in 2006 which showed a fictional assassination of President Bush by an alleged environmental terrorist, and then showed what would happen if Cheney became president.